balance your strength and your warmth. And the question is, how do you do that? These are often described as dials from 1 to 10. Cool. So I'll dial my dial up, right? I know, I'm seeing your faces. I'm so grateful for your reaction. Correct. So I'm partly here as look, the idea with being a coach is that you're practical, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. So I like to take these things out of the realm of the abstract and think, well, how do I actually help myself, my friends, my clients? And strength. Many of us, and this really is for the men as well, many of us are walking around with accidental, not our own fault, societal archetypes of what a strong person seems like. And some of those archetypes are things we don't like, we don't respect, and we would never want to be caught dead seeming like. And that is getting in the way of us coming across as a type of strength that actually would be really satisfying. So if this dial is, on the one end you come across as, and often this is not about our inner knowing, it's about coming across as, which is unfair, and I'm just naming that. We come across as incompetent. Sometimes that is that we perform. I'm just not totally sure what I'm saying here, but help me out if there's anything, right? We know that. So that's incompetence, seeming. And on this end, it's, I'm here, I know what I'm talking about, you need me. On the warmth side of things, we can go from quite cold, which again, this is not about our actual heart, right? It's about how we seem. And as you are listening to me talk, you're probably thinking based on evidence that people have said to you, which one, if you're a little tiny bit lopsided one way or the other, right? So if on here we come across as a bit cold, that tends to mean that we seem closed off, that we're keeping ourselves really, really safe. And over here, the 10, we are radiating warmth and love and taking care of people. So if we start thinking about these dials, right, it does start to bring up stuff. My strength means meanness comes up for a lot of people. Strength means violence. Strength, I wouldn't want to come across as I know what I'm talking about because that has, in my mind or my life, been coded for something that feels awful, right? So then thinking, well, who do you love to listen to? What kind of leadership do you admire? Who is somebody who represents strength that just feels good? And you're welcome to think of a grandmother, you're just welcome to think let's expand for ourselves what this energy of strength is so that you can begin to recognize yourself in it. And the warmth side of things tends to be different because when I'm offering the idea that you can enter, no matter what your official position is, whatever your status is in a space, that you can enter a room where you need something from the other people. You're pitching, you're asking for a raise, right? You're asking for somebody to take you seriously. You can enter into that space taking such fierce care of the people that have theoretically more power than you. When I introduce that, stuff comes up, right? A sense of resentment comes up, a sense of I don't believe that they need me to take care of them. And I offer this sort of radical thought in here because the capacity that each of us has to radiate love exists. The question is, are we willing to bring it into a space? And are we willing to feel that resentment and go, no, this is strategic. I am up to something bigger. And if we want to come across as strong, all of the data says we must match it with warmth. They don't have to both be a 10, but equal. And what that means, after all of this discussion, right, what that really means is strength for each of you is practicing. And some of you obviously tap into this all the time, so I don't mean to be telling you something you don't need, but thinking about this. Strength is, I've got this. I've got what you need. And for those of us for whom we realize when we say that, I don't know if I totally believe it, right? That's something you can practice over and over. I've got what they need. They need me. Even if you are the least powerful person in that room, I'm there. I'm in that room. They need me. Strength is, I've got this. And warmth is, I've got you. I am willing to take care of you, even if you don't technically deserve it. Because A, it's a strategy, and B, y'all, it is a vote for the type of world that we would like to live in. I would like there to be more leaders who are willing to walk into a space and say, I've got this and I've got you in equal measure. And for those of you who are parents in this room, for those of you who are moms, notice when you balance this absolutely perfectly with your own kid. Right? They're having a rough day. Your spouse is having a rough day. Your best friend just got broken up with. and you show up with, I've got this, I'm so glad you came to me, and I've got you. I have radiant love to spare. I've got you. And we balance that just fine. So I like to take this out of those dials and remind us that in our deep wisdom, we have that in us already. And that's tone. I mean, we can talk about tone as the literal sound coming out of our mouth, but tone is how you enter a space and decide, I've got this, I've got you.